Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm Bethany Hadfield, quantum healing hypnosis practitioner and avid astrologer, welcoming you to this month's new moon ceremony for the new moon in Cancer, happening 17th of July 2023. And so this month I would invite you, as I do every month, to really use this time that you watch this video as somewhat of a form of meditation where you can just sit and relax, feel nice and calm and soothed by listening to this information and just taking it, allowing yourself to take it in and allow it to give you your own thoughts, your own feelings, which you can process for this new cycle and the month ahead, to tune into these energies and so we can get into greater flow with all that is and really use it to give us that strength, that inner strength for this month ahead with this new cycle. So we've got, of course, it is the new moon, which means the sun and moon are back together again to create this new beginning of a new cycle. So welcome. So it is a very relevant new moon to be tuning into if you're watching this video, because of course, being a new moon ceremony in Cancer, Cancer is all about the moon. It is ruled by the moon, so it is very personal. And this month we are going to be looking at how it's really about getting in touch with ourselves. It's not so much about thinking or anything like that. It's very personal this month, so it's just taking this time to really allow yourself to just be in a cozy little spot for yourself and tend to yourself. So Cancer is being, of course, the moon. It is the feminine. It is water. It is emotions and feeling. It's very sensitive. It is the shadow. It is the darkness. The moon is what we, it's magnetic as well. If you think about the moon, it literally just follows the earth around. It is the mother, of course, being the feminine. And so it is about the family as well, and symbolized by the crab. And it is also about the unseen world. It is the darkness, the moon. It is in the tarot moon card, which is all about our fears and our insecurities. So that is what we will be touching on a little bit this month. But it is also about nurturing, very much caring, and because it's soft and tender. So really allowing yourself to tend to those sore spots. It is very much about the wounds or the pain, particularly that we've had since we were very young in relation to our families. It is also the fourth house, or the underneath side of the astrological wheel, which is our inner world, our very personal part of our being. And it's very yet sensitive because it is our inner world. It's very our own inner experience. And this is in opposition to the other side of the zodiac or the chart, which is Capricorn, which is all about how we show up in the world, how we're seen on the outside, and what is accepted on the outside, which is in opposition to Cancer, which is the parts of ourselves that is not accepted. And so that's why it can be about our wounds, because it's this huge theme of rejection. This is what Cancer is. And if you think about Cancer as the dis-ease, that's what creates it, is rejection of self. If you have heard of Anita Moorjani, she's put a book out about it because she survived a death experience from Cancer and realized why she had cancer, and it is essentially this rejection of self, which means that it is when we are at war with ourselves. And so it is about accepting ourselves. And this is tending to these wounds. This is the nurturing and the caring. These parts of ourselves that have felt unseen or rejected or unacknowledged, and particularly from childhood, because this is what this experience of living in this world is about. Is, if you think about too, that it is of course related to family, where we come from, our mother, and it is the mother. It is being born. Cancer is about the birth as well. And so it's because the closest bond that we can have is the bond with our mother. And because we were born from this other being, it doesn't get any closer than that. And when we are born, we are separated. And this is this first experience of separation. And it's not only from separation from our mother, but also the separation from God or Source, because we come through into this world, Capricorn, and that's the birth experience, that's being born. And this is why Cancer is actually sin, because, and in religion, they say that we are born into sin, which is without. This is the separation. Because when we are born into this world, we are separated, which means we become without. And we all have this wound, we all have this experience of this separation, which is this rejection. And so you're being without, it is the negative, that's the feminine. And it's a very misunderstood energy. This is the darkness is very misunderstood, which is why the feminine has been very misunderstood throughout the ages, which is why witches, who are typically women, have been vilified and crucified and even annihilated through horrible means throughout the time, just for being a woman, because the energy of the feminine is a very misunderstood energy. It's this mystery. And so this is what Cancer is all about, is about accepting these wounds within ourselves, these parts within ourselves that we reject, and accepting that, the bigger picture, which is that we have come into this world, into separation. And if we can accept that, that's giving it that love. And also tending personally to the sore spots within ourselves. And this is the vulnerability. This is Cancer, it's very vulnerable. It's why it's got the insecurities. It's that underneath side, and it's the folding inwards, it's going inwards, it's not outwards. It's the pulling in. This is that magnetization, which is the water. And so giving ourselves and receiving that love and care, tending to those parts, those soft spots that have felt wounded, and we can feel those within ourselves. And I would recommend to take a moment just to really allow yourself to feel where it is where those wounds reside, and give it light, give it love, because this is our inner world. It is about touching those parts of ourselves that are maybe a little bit sore and needing that care. We all have them, and they need that nurturing. So using this as an opportunity to give that love, to give yourself that attention, focusing yourself inwards, and allowing yourself to receive that love and that care and accepting that. And that is this giving ourselves strength. This is how we can give ourselves the love, and that is how we can become fortified, which is strengthened and protected, which is what Cancer, being the crab, is all about, because it is this hard outer shell which is to protect from that outside world. So having the courage to be vulnerable, going inwards to find that inner light. This is the unfolding, the opening up, which is also coming into this new Leo season. It's all about, the sun, the light, and the solar plexus. So it's finding that inner courage, finding that inner light, so that we can shine it brightly in Leo, which is the following sign. So it really is about facing our fears. It is about, but doing it from the inside. It's not about going out and facing our fears, because that's very masculine. It's about going inwards. And this is how we can get inner strength. This is how we can begin to grow up and accept ourselves. This is taking that responsibility as well for ourselves, our own feelings. And that's very powerful. And so crab as well, it is symbolized by moving sideways. So it's important to understand this as an energy which is really about the feminine, because to be able to accept the feminine, we need to accept the way that it operates. And it's not about taking direct action like the sun does. It's direct. Whereas Cancer, it goes from side to side. And this energy can be very misunderstood, because people can fear that. Why is it not being direct? And so that is this vulnerability, being open to this sideways energy, going with the flow. So I hope that this has been insightful for you, and that you've learned something or had some realizations, that it's given you some good feelings, and that you are able to really take some time to allow any sore spots that might pop up throughout this next few days or few weeks. You might notice that sporadically they just pop up, and you realize, like, oh my gosh, that is that wound that I didn't know was there. Because the moon as well, it is the shadow, it is the part of ourselves that we cannot see. So just allow yourself to really, any emotions that come up that are sore or painful, allow them to be expressed and acknowledge them, because that is this acceptance, allowing ourselves to feel these feelings, and that's okay. It's very personal. This ceremony is not about so much the bigger picture of the world, although it is, we can acknowledge that it is Mother Earth, who is very giving and gives and gives to her children. And this is as well this archetype of the feminine, which keeps on giving and giving, and to the detriment. And so it's about finding that balance. And this is why it's an excellent opportunity to take some time to give ourselves the attention, focusing in perhaps on your heart or any other sore spots that you might notice are feeling a little bit rejected, particularly perhaps the solar plexus area, your stomach, and allowing yourself to just give these parts of yourself attention. That's all that needs to be done. If you can give it attention, then it is seen, because Cancer is about what is not seen. It is about what is rejected or not accepted. So giving to ourselves so that we can be seen by ourselves. This is very powerful. And this is what shadow work is. So taking the time to work through these shadows, to accept ourselves, which in turn helps us to accept others, and being grateful and forgiving. So this is very much when we can accept these parts that we've rejected, or parts that other people have rejected. There's a lot of forgiveness work, and being able to give the love to ourselves means we are able to then forgive, which is extremely healing. So using this as an opportunity to heal. And what a beautiful thing to do. So thank you very much for listening and for tuning in, and I hope that it's given you some insight and given you some good energy, some nurturing, caring and soothing energy, setting you up for the month ahead. Until next time, I would invite you to like and subscribe this video, and to share it with anyone that you think might need a nice warm hug and some soothing, and to feel good and to be reminded that we can give this to ourselves. So sending you lots of love and blessings for this new month ahead, and I'll see you again in next month's video.